Hello, my name is Aiden Heslin, and I am a member of Ransell High School delegation. My question was, should Mike Pence invoke the 25th Amendment and remove Donald Trump from office? Given the events of the past week with the storming of the Capitol and Trump flaming the fuels that there was voter fraud in the election and encouraging the members to raid the Capitol in order to keep him in office, many have called for Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove Donald Trump from office. The theory behind invoking the 25th Amendment is that there's not enough time for a formal impeachment, and the likelihood of him being impeached is slow, as he would need 17 members of the GOP to vote for impeachment, which is unlikely to say the least. The 25th Amendment states that if the Vice President and a majority of executive officials, or in other words, cabinet members, vote to say that the President is unfit to hold office, that the President is then removed from office, and the Vice President is going to become the new President of the United States of America. Mike Pence should invoke the 25th Amendment and remove Donald Trump in order to A, ensure a peaceful transition of power, B, show a signal to our international community that we are a stable, functioning democracy, and C, signal to the American public that Donald Trump's actions are unacceptable. Let's dive into our first point. Donald Trump has yet to concede that he officially lost the 2020 election. Despite he has repetitively stated that there was a voter fraud in the election and that is why he lost. However, every official government source has said that this is not the case. Even though Trump lost Georgia by only about 20,000 votes, and even the Republican Secretary of State and the Republican governor said that Trump lost that state to Democrats, fair and square, without voter fraud involved. Trump repetitively doing these bashful claims is a threat to our democracy. And these claims have made it so he has not conceded the election. This has made it so for the first time in American history, there is assurance there is a peaceful transition of power. Throughout our country, there have been numerous political parties, namely the Democrats and Republicans, and inevitably one of them loses and has to surrender the White House to that side. And till recently, it's just been done. One side has swallowed their pride, admitted they lost, and stated that they will live to fight another day in hopes that they can retake the White House. However, this president is unique in that he is repetitively going up these claims as a reason that he shouldn't secede this election. This has made it so Biden's team has not been able to work with the White House to ensure that there's a transition in government. An especially crucial thing in times of COVID, in which government strategy and how to implement the vaccination is crucial now more than ever. It has also made it so that many Americans believe that Biden is an illegitimately elected president, weakening our faith in democracy. Trump's refusal to concede the 2020 election has made it so the American people truly, on January 20th, are not 100% sure who is going to become president. And many, even if in the most likely situation of Biden being inaugurated in, many will never see him as an illegitimately elected president, fueling the fumes of dissent within the country. In order for Americans to have a peaceful transition of power and ensure that the Biden administration takes office, and to ensure that they are coordinating within the government, and to ensure that there is less likelihood of the American people revolting because they see, due to Trump not surrendering the White House, Pence needs to invoke the 25th Amendment as he is able to take the reins and formally announce that Biden will be our next president of the United States of America. The second reason that Pence needs to invoke the 25th Amendment is to show the international community that Trump is a stain on American democracy and America as a whole. Throughout Trump's presidency, he has repetitively shunned our allies, from repetitively threatening to pull out of NATO, an agreement that's been in place since the end of World War II, to stating that in order for American troops to stay in places like Germany and France, a strategic position done to combat Russian aggression, that they would need to pay our military. This has made many world leaders question America and our faith to democracy. At the same time of Trump doing this, he's warmed up to Putin, even as so much as calling him a strongman and to an extent a friend. This has made many leaders question American integrity and our leadership. Even within the 2020 election, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and France's President Emmanuel Macron stated that Biden did win the election. By invoking the 25th Amendment, Pence is showing that the American commitment to the democratic experiment is true and valid, that America is a democracy, and that we will value our election results, and that we are committed once again to a peaceful transition of power, a stable current of any democracy. America has always touted itself as the defender of democratic principles abroad. We've gotten in many wars in an attempt to defend it. For example, the Iraq War, a main motivator for Americans to enter in, it was an attempt to bring democracy to Iraq and topple Saddam Hussein's corrupt regime. With America's own democracy starting to falter and crack, we need to show that our democratic checks and balances are effective in remaining our democratic principles, and that we can once again stand tall in the international community to show that we are not just saying that we are a democracy and committed to it. We are showing that we are a functional democracy that is committed to the democratic principles through and through, not just when a democratic principles aligns to what their already preconceived notions. Thirdly, Pence needs to invoke the 25th Amendment as a sign to the American people. This is a sign that, once again, Trump lost the 2020 election, a sign that many Americans, frankly, have not accepted the results of. Trump's refusal to concede this election has caused a cornering of the Capitol building, something that hasn't happened since the War of 1812. This is also dissented to many Americans, saying that they would do radical things such as take up arms and attempted to plant pipe bombs in the RNC Congress and the DNC headquarters in an attempt to kill leaders who they are seeing as depriving Trump of his election. This is a dangerous situation to be in for every American around. But more importantly, because outside of these radicals, most Americans accept the election results. And it is a signal, and by invoking the 25th Amendment, is a signal that Americans will not compromise their democratic principles for anything. Whether it is healthcare, tax cuts, or even hot topic issues such as abortion, Americans will always value their democracy above any ideological differences they may have. And frankly, these differences right now with Trump in office is showing that Americans frankly only care about ideology. They don't care about democracy. With Trump in office, it is a symbol to the American people that America is more divided by ideology than we are united by our shared democratic values. In closing, America needs to invoke the 25th Amendment in order to ensure a peaceful transition of power, regain our reputation in the international community, and show the American people that we are a strong and functioning democracy. Thank you for your time.